Chelsea have been on a transfer spending spree this summer, and simply no one can stop them. Roman Abramovich has flipped the switch, and Frank Lampard has snapped in the transfer window, introducing new, exciting talent at the bridge at an unprecedented rate. It's an exciting time to be a Blues fan right now. I've got to admit, fresh out of a transfer ban, this is set to be the best window in years for Chelsea. Today, we're taking the reins of the club in the new season with updated kits and rosters with one special twist. It's been a hot minute. The return of the release clause only challenge is here, and Chelsea are the first club of 2020 to get amongst it. Here are all the rules and objectives set out for the challenge here today. Number one, pretty plain and simple, we can only sign players by activating their release clause in the transfer market. No exceptions, no ifs or buts. If they haven't got a release clause, we can't buy them. Secondly, all players at the club must have a release clause instated in their contract, providing high risk for a club to just snatch up one of our best players from underneath us. Next, if one of our players' release clauses is activated, they're out the door. We're hopeless. We can't intervene whatsoever. We are aiming for all silverware possible. The more the better. I'm keen to see how much success is possible here in London as we abide by a strict 3-season time limit. Like I touched on earlier, the new kits and the updated transfers are here, so Ziyech and Werner waltz their way into the starting 11 with the instantly memeable 3-sponsor kit.
Donut, you're so stupid!
What are they thinking, man? They're just asking rival fans to take the piss out of them whenever they go 3-0 down. I must say though, their first two kits for the new season are looking quite peg, and then you get to this one, which is basically just a rip-off of Crystal Palace home kit.
Oh! What the fuck?
This is an outrage!
No. Well...
Even if you're a Chelsea fan, that is a horrendous looking jersey. Just remove it from existence. It's painful, terribly painful to look at. Now with all that down pat and all the admin work out of the way, here's how the starting 11 is looking, playing that classic Chelsea 4-3-3. The only transfers activated in this FIFA 20 PC mod have been Werner and Ziyech. The likes of Havertz, Thiago Silva, and Chilwell, all these other players Chelsea are bringing in have not been confirmed yet, so therefore they're not in the starting 11. We're going to make sure we're going to try and get them at all costs, providing they have a release clause. Nonetheless, with all the business Chelsea are doing in the transfer window, they should definitely be challenging for the title this season, so that's exactly what we're going to be doing. However, the promises are kept. All the release clauses are instated in all 32 players here at the club. Whether you're N'Golo Kante or Ruben Loftus-Cheek, you've got a release clause and you are up for sale at any moment in time. My heart's racing. We're playing career mode Russian roulette out here, and I'm not enjoying this one bit, and I'm more than ready to take on this challenge. We started it back in FIFA 19, and we're continuing it here right before FIFA 21. Lads, if you go on to enjoy the video, make sure to drop it a like down below as usual. Hit subscribe if you're new around here. Turn on that notification bell as we're on the hunt for 100,000 subscribers before 2021. 128 million pounds is the kind of budget we're working with. Everyone is on the line. Things are going to get interesting. I want to be reactive, proactive to the transfer market just to see what kind of offers come in for our players. It's a dynamic approach we're going into this release clause challenge with. You've got to be on your heels because at any moment a club can catch you out and snap up your best player. So without further ado, let's get into the transfer business. What makes this challenge so much easier is that you can literally filter in search players by release clause, so only players that have release clauses will pop up in the search results. Absolute lifesaver. Just to clarify as well, we aren't forced to accept every single transfer offer that comes our way. It's only for clubs that activate their release clause, and because Hoffenheim haven't activated the release clause, they've submitted a £13.5 million bid. We don't have to sell him and can just reject it. Here we go. It's the first cab off the rank, first release clause activated, and it's been paid by Bayer Leverkusen £28.5 million for Kurt Zuma. The deal's gone through. There's your confirmation. Zuma is off to Germany for £28.5 million. That's a decent chunk of money to receive from the Frenchman, and we might be in the market for a brand new starting centre-back. Another one bites the dust here as Kepa Arrizabalaga might be headed off to Borussia Dortmund. They've activated his £34 million release clause. In real life, he's no longer part of Frank Lampard's plans. That storyline might come into fruition here today. We are in replenishing mode right now. Kepa and Zuma are the first two out. There he is, Bundesliga bound, posing with Borussia Dortmund in yellow colors. He's going to be their brand new starting goalkeeper. After doing some digging, we have a wide array of goalkeeping options we can pursue, but none of them make more sense than Jan Oblak of Atletico Madrid. The Slovenian shot stopper has the £143.4 million release clause ready, just sitting there, waiting to be activated. I know this is going to be like 3/4 of our transfer budget, but we can afford it, and we don't really have to worry about the goalkeeping position for the rest of the challenge. You saw us there, pay out his release clause, and I'm sure he'll be headed Stamford Bridge's way very, very soon. Upgrades, people, upgrades. This is going to be a massive improvement to the goalkeeping department. Jan Oblak is our brand new number one. He's got it on the shirt to prove it as well, as the 27-year-old arrives for £143.4 million. We all know that Frank Lampard and Chelsea are having the transfer window of the century right now, but if they could pull this off alongside all the other transfers they're aiming for this window, it could go down in the history books. What a pleasure it would be to see him in the Premier League. Our first signing we've acted upon in the new release clause era here at Chelsea, and it's cost us a pretty penny. Despite Chelsea's pursuits in picking up Thiago Silva on a free this summer, it was actually confirmed this morning, I've decided to go for a bit of a different route. Considering that's not possible here in this career mode challenge, we've opted for Presnel Kimpembe, who has a reasonable release clause. He's still young, can still develop. He's going to be within budget as well at £48.7 million, basically exonerating all of our current transfer budget right now, and he's going to be a mainstay in that centre-back for Season 1. Just like that, contract talks went smoothly, and Presnel Kimpembe, now a brand new Chelsea player. Welcome to the bridge, welcome to the Premier League. He's following in the footsteps of what Thiago Silva's done towards the latter stages of his career, but in this instance, our new number 6 joins us at 24. Alright, now this is where things get serious here. It's when the whole entire challenge gets flipped on its head, as we've received the news that the release clause has been paid for N'Golo Kante. It's none other than Manchester City knocking at the door for £182 million, and if all goes smoothly, the Frenchman is headed to the Etihad. Pep Guardiola, he snapped, not happy that his team hasn't progressed through to the quarterfinals and needs some midfield reinforcement. It doesn't look right seeing Kante in that Manchester City jersey. They've dug deep into the back of their Arab owners' pockets. All that oil money has facilitated this move, as they've paid a premium for the happiest man in football. Yeah, that's right, lads. We got a massive hole to fill in midfield. No way Bakayoko starting in that 3. I'm going to be kicking myself if I don't get this deal complete. Leon Goretzka is just chilling on a £61.2 million release clause. He's the perfect replacement. Listen, his muscles are literally exploding out of his body. Yes, he might be doing gym workouts all of quarantine, but he is transformed into the German Hulk, and there's no way we're letting Bayern Munich have all that fun. So £61.2 million, we're paying it out. It's a cheap bargain in my eyes. Current European champions, and has a world of experience under his belt. Leon the Prince in midfield. The new boys arrived, and he's going to snap up Kante's old number. The magical number 7 marks his presence, and he's a brand new blue. I've got a high ceiling for the young German as he approaches his peak. I want him to dominate the midfield for years to come. Just when you thought we resolved our defensive issues after Zuma's departure, it's another shock to the system, as we're on the verge of a defender crisis. Real Betis come in, £36.5 million paid for Antonio Rudiger. Well, no, we're saved by the bell. His next destination won't be Spain, and the transfer talks have broken down. I guess that's a small W we can take before deadline day. Well, we came away from deadline day unscathed, and we managed 3 release clause pickups. Plus, we also received a bunch of transfer bids and offers, which we just simply rejected. They weren't release clause activations, so it didn't really matter much besides Rudiger's one that fell through. All that matters is that we've invested in 3 quality starters. Here in the summer transfer window, it's all about the quality over quantity. This is how the starting 11 will look like. Pretty standard, besides that Oblak is the new number 1. Kante is replaced by Goretzka, and Kimpembe partners Rudiger at that back 4. As we simulate, release clauses can get activated without us even knowing, so we're going to have to check back in on January to see what kind of clubs have sneaked in behind our backs whilst we're simulating, even though it's not the transfer window. I know, the AI can be absolutely grueling sometimes. January's here, and well, we've been lucky. No release clause activations, but that doesn't mean none are going to happen in the winter. Halfway point in the season, and a lot of teams around the world are going to be looking to replenish their squads, as we're whittling down to the final hours of deadline day. Just when we thought January didn't have anything in store for us, it's Spurs coming in for £20 million, picking up Teemu Bakayoko. The ex-Monaco midfielder might be headed to North London. Fellow London and Premier League rivals could go down as a massive rivalry switch. With 2 hours to go, Spurs have thrown an absolute spatter in the works. Jose Mourinho gets his man, and Bakayoko will be joining Tottenham Hotspur on a permanent basis. Mr. Release Clause has been caught off guard. Now it's time to get a replacement in before the window shuts. He was in bad form nonetheless, and he's about to enter his peak. I think we can do better better here at Chelsea. It's an emergent signing we have to go through with. I mean, we didn't know we were going to be put in this situation come deadline day, but £20.9 million for Lucas Paquetá of AC Milan, the Brazilian. We're going to have to go through with it just as a replacement for this second half of the season. A very impromptu and impulsive buy, but it has to be done. Voila, just like that. We had to work around the clock for it, but it's Lucas Paquetá replacing Bakayoko. The Brazilian making his debut appearance in the Premier League alongside many other Brazilians that have come before him here at Chelsea. It's the start of a new year, the end of January, which I thought was going to be extremely uneventful, proving me wrong again with an explosive finish. This is how our starting 11 is going to be shaping up under Mr. Release Clause for the second half of Season 1. Here's how Season 1 is wrapped up, and we were 8 points away from becoming Premier League champions as Liverpool take out the title just like they did in real life, going back to back. The Reds gained 105 points as we toppled Manchester City and Spurs. They wrap up the top 4, Arsenal, Manchester United and Newcastle finishing just outside. As we scroll down to the relegation zone, it is Sheffield United, Leeds and West Brom all getting relegated. Just in case you didn't know, this mod also provides a brand new league update. That's why we got the new promoted teams. Spurs actually won a trophy here in the FA Cup 2-1 against Newcastle at Wembley. We had an elimination in round 3 to the eventual winners 3-1 to Spurs. We reached the cup final domestically. We were up against Liverpool in the Carabao Cup final at Wembley and we ended up getting a defeat 2-1. So no silverware for us this season domestically. We move on to the Champions League, and how we did this, I don't know. We finished second in our group. It was probably one of the easiest groups we could have got given. We reached the knockout phase. In the round of 16, we got taught a lesson against Barcelona 5-0 on aggregate. In the final, just in case you're wondering, it's first versus third in the Premier League, an all-English final. We came so painstakingly close to achieving our objectives this season. Let's showcase the main protagonist of the campaign, and it's Timo Werner, a real-life transfer, 31 goals and 1 assist in 60 appearances. If he puts up those kinds of numbers for the Blues, I think that would be a solid investment, as well as Hakim Ziyech was confirmed way back in January, and the Mercurial Moroccan also played 60 games with 23 goals and 13 appearances, one of 2 players to achieve double figures in both goals and assist departments. Just like Mr. Captain America himself, 15 goals and 10 assists for Christian Pulisic, 25 goal contributions. It's Jorginho at CDM with 11 goals and 2 assists. Leon Goretzka, not bulked up in FIFA 20, but we might be seeing a change come FIFA 21. 10 goals and 5 assists for the German. Ruben Loftus-Cheek with 6 goals and 5. Mason Mount played a bit of a backseat this season, but he's grown quite significantly, a +3 to his overall, now sitting at an 82 rating. And Mateo Kovacic provided a crucial role, playing 51 games, 4 goals and 10 assists. It's the captain Cesar Azpilicueta with 4 goals and 4 in 59. We paid the big bucks for the Slovenian in between the sticks, and he has provided us with 28 clean sheets with 55 appearances. It also shows how important having a, elite goalkeeper is in career mode. Season 1's come and gone. We still have silverware on our mind headed into our second campaign, and we're looking to invest even more in this release clause market that we just love all so much. Let's see what the future can bring. Hopefully a bit of silverware. Diving headfirst into the brand new season, we're not going to waste any time. We're taking a completely different approach to how we are managing our transfers this time around. In the summer, we're going for yet another realistic Chelsea transfer. Another German headed for the Prem and is going to have Stamford Bridge as his brand new home. It's Kai Havertz. We've activated and paid out that £81.7 million release fee. He's on the top of our wish list, our prime marquee target. Oh, no. Just when we have decided to be proactive in the window, Hakim Ziyech, he's only spent 1 year here in London, and he's already persuaded by Juventus. He's off to play with Ronaldo in the Serie A for £90.8 million. I don't think many clubs could have afforded the Moroccan services, but Juve, the Bianconeri, have money to burn. Finally, some good news to report on. To soften the blow of Ziyech's potential departure, Kai Havertz will be our first signing here in Season 2. Release clause paid. After his fruitful spell and rise in the Bundesliga, he'll be showing off his talents in England, not only in our midfield, but going forward as well. He can play at right mid and could take up Ziyech's role. It's the news no Chelsea fans want to see in 2021 as Hakim Ziyech searches for pastures new. He's got a brand new adventure in Italy ready to kick off as he joins the likes of Cristiano Ronaldo, Paulo Dybala. The now 28-year-old in his prime, he would have been a beautiful asset to have here in Season 2. 90.8 million we're getting for him. I'm not complaining, but it's going to be hard for Havertz to live up to the numbers he started to produce last season. Keep in mind, Juve are Champions League rivals. He's going to be a major threat in our hopes for for that competition. We're going to pick our heads back up and invest in the transfer market. I've got 3 signings on my mind, and number 1 is going to add a bit more midfield depth into the system. We've got Nicolo Barella on our radar. Now his release clause is looking extremely viable at only £36.1 million. I'll be more than happy to activate that, and the 82 rated Italian could slot in there for Kovacic or Jorginho. Could be a Kante-esque replacement as well. Small, agile, and just a hard-working, solid player. I feel like a key defender, a spearhead in our back 4 can be added. Harry Maguire is on my radar. He's bursted out of the prison cell gates. He's returned back from Greece, and Manchester United's captain has a £49.4 million release clause ready to be paid. Slabhead Maguire, such a valuable asset and defender to have at the back. And now in the left back spot, I'm thinking of Benjamin Mendy, recently transferred to Spurs, and his £50.4 million release clause is overpriced, and there's no other left back on the market that I think would be a sensible investment. We're taking a risk here as he is injury prone, but I think he could overhaul that left back position and take over Marcus Alonso. We aren't done there. The spending spree marches on, and I'm looking at Il Pistolero, Christoph Piontek at Hertha Berlin, off the bench, super sub, a real impact that could change up a game. £28.6 million. I'm more than obliged to go ahead and pay every single penny. It's good to see that Harry Maguire is back in blue. He is ready to contest for a starting centre-back spot, and he's already getting amongst it with his teammates in there. The signing announcement, Manchester United's captain switching allegiances, and the release clause drama has sparked up again. Benjamin Mendy's buying into the project as well, probably a player that I never expected signing in this type of video, but things had to be done. That is also the pros and cons of the release clause only challenge. Overpaying £50.4 million for him, that one definitely has to hurt. If he delivers anything, just don't get injured. Nicolo Barella, a box-to-box midfield engine that can run the middle of the park. I'm glad we picked up on him because he is needed in that midfield 3. Injury suspensions can really throw off our whole team. Plus, we need that versatility, combating, fighting on multiple fronts. The Italians got all we need. Chelsea are no strangers for an Italian stallion in their ranks. Squeezing every last penny out of the piggy bank until its last drop, it's Christoph Piontek taking over. He's stolen the number 10, and the AC Milan reject arrives for £28.6 million. I really do believe he can reignite his goal-scoring form in the Premier League, and Stamford Bridge awaits. We introduced new midfielders to the release clause Chelsea regime, and we've received the release clause paid notification. Ruben Loftus-Cheek, it's PSG coming in for him, £26.3 million. A Chelsea Youth Academy product. He's grown up in the Youth Academy, and now he's off to Paris, one of the most fashionable, iconic cities in all of the world. He's linking up with Neymar, Mbappe, and the rest. Champions League finalists, and it's farewell to a club favourite. We are in desperate cry for another winger on the left or either right-hand side. I'm thinking Rodrigo, another Brazilian we can introduce well within budget. The future is now, and we'll go ahead and activate that. We've pulled this one out the hat a few clicks later. A bit more magic on display from Mr. Release Clause and Sir BCHD. Rodrigo's being presented to the media and the press. Could it be his breakout year in the Premier League? I sure hope so. The brand new Blues storming into London, and he's ready to make an impact in the Prem. He's proven World Cup winner, Champions League winner, and with a £30 million release clause, I don't know how I didn't pick up on this earlier. Our second Bayern Munich recruit of the Rebuild Challenge, and it's a release clause we're taking advantage of. Benjamin Pavard, welcome to Stamford Bridge. What you're looking at here, ladies and gentlemen, is a productive and effective transfer window. Take a good look. Here are our results of the Champions League group stage draw. Who are the Premier League runners-up going to be matched up against? We are coming up through against Bayer Leverkusen, Havertz's former side, Lille from France, and Dynamo Kiev. It's probably close to what Chelsea are going to be spending in real life, but take a look at this investment. It is £323 million worth of release clauses we have broken, and we saw out the door £117 million worth of profit. Here's how the squad is shaping up after all those brand new recruits arrive. It's Havertz, Mendy, and Maguire into the starting 11. Also, Pavard takes the role of Cesar Azpilicueta. I gotta tell you, lads, we might have title contenders on the books. It's going to be a make or break season here in the challenge. I'm hoping for big results. By the looks of it seems like Juve are out here trying to steal all our players, as the Bianconeri not only took Ziyech in the summer, they are going to be picking up Tammy Abraham. He did threaten to leave with that severe activation not too long ago, and now it's confirmed that he is moving to the Serie A for £33.6 million. No, but it doesn't end there. On deadline day, we have simulated towards the end of the month, and Hertha Berlin, we managed to steal away Piontek, and they are going to hit one back with Ross Barkley, £19.5 million, and the Englishman finally leaves his home nation. Just like Reece James, he has departed off to Roma. They've paid out the £22.5 million fee for our backup right back, and we might have to bring in some emergency signings. I can't believe it took me this long to figure out we didn't have a backup keeper for Oblak all this time since Caballero's retirement. We decided to go for Timo Horn, activating his £19.5 million release clause out at Cologne. It's another German transfer we're introducing, and it needed to be made alongside Jonathan Ikone, who's actually gone from Lille to Atletico Madrid. They've agreed a £48.4 million release clause. We're going to overpay it. He's going to be our Barkley / squad rotational option we can bring off the bench. Definitely a useful option as he provides to be a utility attacker. £67.9 million spent and £56 million of profit. As you can see there, Emerson has headed out the door. The last few hours of deadline day, we've had threats for Zappa Costa leaving, his transfer talks broke down, and Emerson has been sold to surprisingly Barcelona of all clubs. There's your squad to compete for the second half of season 2. It's Barella and Rodrigo who forced their way into the starting 11. Automatically by overall, they've grown and developed. I think they're ready. Let's see what this second season brings us. Despite our rapid investment in the transfer window this season, we have finished off in a worse position than in season 1. Failing to qualify for the Champions League, we're in a Europa League spot with 85 points. Can't even crack into the top 4. Liverpool do the 3-peat. It's Man City, Arsenal, and Spurs finishing all above us. Manchester United, Wolves, and West Ham all fail to qualify as well. As we scroll towards the bottom of the table, it is Bournemouth, Nottingham Forest, and Brighton headed down to the Championship. Well, I guess it proves that money just can't buy success anymore. However, we have a date with destiny. The Premier League champions 3 years running. It's a Wembley FA Cup final. Chelsea versus Liverpool. That'll be our first opportunity for silverware in the Carabao Cup. We lost out in the final, so this is not only just a game, we have the chance for vengeance, to get revenge on the Reds after it finished 2-1. In the Champions League, we coasted by in the group stages. Group B saw us finish on top with 16 points. Leverkusen made it out, and in the round of 16, we faced Lazio, 3-2 victory on aggregate. Over in the quarterfinals, we took down Bayern Munich 3-1. Fresh off their Champions League victory in real life. It was another German opposition standing in our way in the semi-finals. 4-2 victory as Juve beat out Leverkusen in the semis. We have a date with Juventus Turin. I don't know why this mod calls them that. Nonetheless, we are facing Hakim Ziyech and Tammy Abraham in the Champions League final. First things first, it's a chance to win our first piece of silverware, or even, if we're living in the fantasy world, get the double. Here's our starting 11 with Barella, Rodrigo starting. It's Oblak going to be the captain as Harry Maguire is suspended for today's fixture. Has this team got it in them? They have been haunted by Liverpool throughout this whole entire challenge. They beat us to the Premier League title. They've beat us in a Carabao Cup final. And oh my goodness me, we've absolutely decimated the Reds. Why did they play Karius in goal? I can't believe Jurgen Klopp's given him another chance, but it's Goretzka, Havertz, Werner, and Rodrigo. One of the most one-sided finals I've seen, and we have waltzed to victory, lifting up that FA Cup trophy. It's one down, one to go. We have the Champions League final in our sights, but we've got to bask in our domestic glory. The ribbons will be traditional blue. Oblak and Mr. Release Clause chilling in the press conference room, knowing that they've got so much more work to do. I'm not gonna lie, I'm tempted to reintroduce Maguire into the equation, but I just don't want to change a winning formula really after that solid display against Liverpool. Champions League final night, and anything can happen. Let's see who they're going to play. Abraham and, of course, Ziyech going to be in the starting 11. It's a 2-1 win, and it's Mason Mount in extra time, a 97th minute winner. He scored in the 89th minute as well, and João Felix, oh my god, look at that Juve team, so powerful. After all those release clause signings, after all that investment, it turned out to be a Chelsea blue, a Chelsea original, to win us the Champions League final as we emerge as Champions League winners. Crowned kings of Europe, and Kai Havertz stands proudly next to that trophy. We edge it out against the Bianconeri. What a victory. We're going to take a quick overview of the squad. Here are the main protagonists in our double trophy season. We've added to the trophy cabinet, and we're also kings of Europe, and it's Kai Havertz who probably deservedly got to stand next to the trophy. 33 goals and 11 assists. What a sign signing. Now up to an 89 overall. That is a 44 goal contribution campaign. Timo Werner couldn't match his 31 goals from season 1. Nonetheless, he still provided 30 goal contributions. It is Rodrigo. I didn't expect him to be this involved, but the Brazilian has stepped it up a level. 24 goals and 11 assists, proven that he can do it in the Premier League. It's Leon Goretzka with another outstanding campaign, 24 goals and 12 assists. He's a goal scorer in midfielder. Christian Pulisic slowly phased out of the side. He probably came on a lot as a super sub, so I can't blame him for his low production. It is Jorginho, truly being the anchor in midfield. He's slowly declining now that he's hit 30, but with 20 goal contributions, 15 assists, he's our main playmaker in the middle of the park, alongside a hard-working Mateo Kovacic. He only managed to score 3 goals all season, and 2/3 of them came in the Champions League final. What a hero, the English club legend, a cult figure that we all have to appreciate. I still can't believe that storyline has unfolded before our eyes, but we'll continue down to the goalkeeping position. It is Jan Oblak with 2 assists in 68 appearances. He managed 26 clean sheets on top of it. That proved to be one hell of a season that we managed to salvage at the end with 2 trophies. Despite our poor Premier League form, we had to simulate one more season to see if we can become a league champions and lift up the Premier League trophy. That would just be the icing on top of the cake. In season 3, it's do or die. Come on, lads, do it for the culture, do it for the release clauses. Champions League glory and silverware has meant that we have been gifted a war chest to spend, and in an effort to prove our Premier League credentials in season 3, we have decided to go for 4 massive transfers. First off, let's get this out the way. £160.9 million to get the Belgian back to Stamford Bridge. It's the prodigal son Eden Hazard, a Chelsea legend, a Chelsea favourite, who'll go down as our most expensive transfer in the history of this rebuild so far. He returns to deliver some quality, some experience. You all know he's got world-class baller-like abilities. Lautaro Martinez, yet another intercoup. We had to pay the full £74 million in order to activate his release fee, and the Argentinian striker will prove as a backup to Timo Werner. That's how good our squad has gotten now. It is Alexander Golovin just to provide a different option in midfield. Really impressed with his abilities in real life, and the Russian will join as a 26-year-old arrives from Leicester City. And Rami Bensebaini, the Algerian left-back from Real Betis, the only wing-back option I've found to have a release clause. He will join us as a squad rotational option in the back 4. And Golovin, can we now accept him? No, for some reason, we can't go through with that. Is career mode broken? I don't know. The main question is, though, are they going to be enough to win the Premier League? I mean, after all this money we've spent, you probably hope so. Here's how the side is now going to be lining up for the new season. Here in our 3rd campaign, we have Hazard joining in on the left. That front 3, Werner, Hazard, Havertz, damn. Rodrigo dropped after his sensational first campaign. It's a cutthroat business, and even on the bench, it's an 88 rated Lautaro Martinez. Let's sim to the end of this season and see how we go. We can now rest. Our work here is done. Chelsea, with their release clauses, becoming Premier League champions for the first time since, what, 2016, 2017? I forgot the last time they won the league, but 104 points garnered. It was Manchester City left in the dust by a 6-point margin. Arsenal and Liverpool round up the top 4. Meanwhile, Spurs and Manchester United with disappointing seasons. As we scroll to the bottom end of the table, it is Fulham, West Brom, and Leeds United relegated to the 2nd division. Before our Premier League glory, it was pre-season hype that got us started on the right foot with a 5-4 penalties win against Liverpool for the FA Community Shield. We got knocked out, though. We couldn't defend our FA Cup title after Liverpool defeated us 3-1 in the semis. We did take home a trophy, though, that we haven't won. It was a domestic double. The Carabao Cup is ours, and therefore we can really say that we've won every trophy on offer. There was the Club World Cup as well. Okay, that's another one to add to the cabinet. We're not only European champions, but world champions. We keep conquering, and the last trophy left available to us was the UEFA Super Cup. A domestic treble. It's 5 trophies in one campaign. Here in season 3, we didn't sign any players. We didn't sell anyone. We just stuck with the same squad. Oh yeah, and besides the Champions League, we lost in the quarterfinals 2-1 to Liverpool. Of course, it had to be the Reds. As we took on the Group G, we finished on top with 18 points. We did take down Milan 6-0 on aggregate in the round of 16. We failed to defend our Champions League trophy, and it's Liverpool who took it out 2-1 against Juve. 2 years in a row, the Bianconeri have lost in the final. Poor Ziyech. He could have been a Champions League hero. He could have been a Premier League champion, but Juve decided to snatch him up, and we are left remaining with our top goal scorer yet again, Timo Werner. The German just knows how to find the back of the net. 30 goals and 3 assists. Kai Havertz, Oh my goodness gracious me. These are numbers I can't comprehend. 29 goals and 24 assists for the German playmaker. Starting out on the right, Leon Goretzka. It's a German invasion over here in Chelsea, as the London club has seen 26 goals and 19 assists from the absolutely buffed midfielder. We've got Rodrigo with 16 and 6 assists. Christian Pulisic doing a bit more than £160 million release clause, man. Eden Hazard only managing 20 goal contributions upon his return to the Premier League at 32. Lautaro Martinez off the bench managed 7 goals, just like the right back Benjamin Pavard with 10 goal contributions. Benjamin Mendy managed to not stay injured for 47 games with 4 goals and 5 assists. Harry Maguire and Kovacic, also Mason Mount, share 4 goals apiece. Here is how the reporters ended up with Jan Oblak, 40 clean sheets. That has got to be a record of some sort. The captain also managed to pile on 1 cheeky assist as well. Right there, I think that is where we're going to end it off. We achieved all our silverware objectives and abided by the release clause rules. That is where our story ends here at Chelsea. If you did go on to enjoy the video, make sure to drop in a like down below, hit subscribe, turn on those notifications, as we are on the road to 100,000 subscribers. Follow me on Twitter, Instagram. The social links are always in the description. I've been Sir BCHD. Hopefully you did enjoy. Have a great day, stay safe, and I'll catch you all in the very next video.